Should you spend all your savings and buy a property outright with cash? Are there advantages towards doing that? And so, are there disadvantages as well? Well, stay tuned because that's what I want to discuss in today's video. Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Abbas Pradhan. I'm a property investor and I'm an owner of an estate agency called 10x Rising. On this channel, I share with you the insight of what we go through on a day-to-day basis that may help you on your property journey. So if you enjoy the content, please smash the like button, subscribe. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss the next video. Well, buying a property outright is where you put up all the cash towards buying the property. If the purchase price is £500,000, you've put down the entire £500,000 in buying that property. Now, this option can become really good for those people who have funds at their disposal. And I'll come towards the advantages. However, you should also know, if you're buying a property outright with cash, and if you have bought one, you can always just refinance and get it under a mortgage. So what are the advantages of buying a property with cash? Well, the first thing is that the property will not fall apart because of the lender's conditions or the time it takes until you get the lending approved and the money into the account. It can take a lot of time. And just say, if it's a commercial property and you've paid for a valuation, the valuation itself, they give you a date that they'll come down after 4 to 6 weeks if they're that busy. That's giving the seller 4 to 6 weeks of time to just change their mind. If the seller is desperate, wants a quick sale, he's not going to come to you because you're going to use lending and it's going to take you months to get the deal across the line. So if you're buying a property with cash, you're going to get a better discount towards the deal. Let's just say, hypothetically, if you've got a deal worth £240,000, would you rather have £200,000 in the account today, or would you rather wait for 3 to 4 months and have £240,000 in the account then? Well, I would rather get the £200,000 today because I don't know if that 3 to 4 months later is even going to come. What if the guy pulls out, the guy who's trying to buy the property, what if he pulls out on the 4th month, the day before completion? The day before the exchange of the contract? What if he just pulls out and says, hey, sorry, circumstances change, I'm not interested anymore? That put you back 4 months worth of time. So, well, it depends again, circumstances to circumstances. If you've got a deal, I'm into property investing myself, I would accept the 200k today if I know I have a deal secured tomorrow where I can put that 200k there and make, say, 25% ROI on that money. Or if it's a buy, refurbish, refinance deal, that I can refinance that deal, pull out all the money and there's a good profit on it. It really depends on what circumstances you're in, but a cash outright purchase can always get you a good deal. A good example was in March, we secured a really good commercial property in Birmingham, 7-bed HMO, nursery and 2 retail units. The seller had offers up to £35,000 on it. We secured it just under £500,000 because we promised to buy it outright with cash, completed within 2 weeks. Subject to, of course, having a building surveyor conduct his survey and subject to searches and the solicitor being happy with the contract. So yes, buying a property outright with cash can always get you a good deal and you can refinance after if anything changes anyway. Second advantage of buying outright with cash is also, of course, the fact that you are free of debt. So you've got your property without any debt because, of course, your mortgage payments can be one of your biggest monthly expenses that you can have. Now, it really depends on where you are on your life stage now. Are you at a stage where you're aggressively attacking and investing day to day, or are you in that phase where you're just laid back, looking to secure what you have and preparing to retire? It depends where you are. Grant Cardone, for example, has real estate worth $2.8 billion. That's a lot of money. But what I hear also from him through his videos is that he has debt worth $2 billion. How does he sleep at night? Because he's in that mind frame of investing and attacking that. As long as he's picking up right real estate where there will be people willing to live, people always renting from him. If the rents are being always paid, then the lender will always be paid. So it's what you can sleep with, what your risk tolerance is. Now, advantage of investing outright with cash, you don't have debt. So you can sleep at night peacefully. Third thing is that the stress. Of course, it comes back to point number 2, you don't own debt. But third thing is that even if you don't have tenants and you're facing void period, you're not in that stress to have a contingency fund to be able to pay for the mortgage payments. Otherwise, the property can get taken away. And if that does, you're going to lose all your deposit if it's under a mortgage. So here, third point, you're not going to stress if you're having void periods. It's going to buy you enough time to find another tenant. The fourth thing is that if you ever get into yourself in a very difficult financial situation, you'll have that peace of heart that you have a cushion, you have a security, which is the equity on your property. You can always either sell it, or you can at least then put it onto a mortgage, release some equity, and release yourself from the difficult situation that you're in. Having that cushion, especially as a business person, is really helpful, because it's quite uncertain. Business could be going really well one day and really down the other. So having that cushion, knowing that you've got some security if anything goes wrong, that you're not going to be drowning and not have a roof over your head, is quite helpful. So these are a couple of the advantages of buying a property outright with cash. Now, coming to the disadvantages, because of course it also has disadvantages if you're buying a property outright with cash. The first disadvantage is that your ROI, your return on investment, is not going to be so high. Of course, money has been the cheapest in the past decades. The interest rate we have been paying, the base rate was 0.25%. The mortgages were, for a buy-to-let, perhaps 2.79%. On commercial, you could get 4.33%. However, it's ridiculous now, where on commercial, you could possibly be paying 6 to 6.5%. And on residential, you're probably paying 3.5 to 4%. And Bank of England is looking to raise the interest rates again. And if they do that, then everyone's mortgages is also going to go up. However, under ordinary circumstances, if you're buying a property outright with cash, perhaps it's going to give you 7%, let's say, cash on cash. If you were going to mortgage that, you could get up to 20% ROI. So that means you're recovering your whole investment in 5 years. If you're making 20% year on year, within 5 years, you've got your whole deposit or your initial investment recovered. So that's quite a big jump up from 7% to 20%. But that's, again, if you're doing 75 to 25 loan to value, that's what you can make. So again, that's a disadvantage, that you're losing out on that ROI, which you could have. The second thing that you're going to be missing out with is diversification. Now, again, let's say you bought a property worth $500,000. You just bought that one property worth $500,000. If you use that $500,000 as a deposit towards buying other properties, you could buy properties worth up to £2 million. So now you could perhaps get an office building, a couple of HMOs, buy-to-lets, depending on where you invest, of course. But you could get all of that. So you're diversifying your investment into commercial, residential. So you'll be missing out on that because everyone's finances will be capped at one point unless you're using other people's money. And if you use that, it's unlimited. You've got like what, $40 trillion moving in the economy today worldwide. So yeah, if you're using other people's money, then of course you can do whatever you like, really. But that's the other thing you will be missing out if you're buying outright with cash. Now, third thing is that capital growth. Now, irregardless of whether you buy outright with cash or with mortgage, you will of course benefit with capital growth. But the question is, how much will you benefit from capital growth? So let's just give an example. You bought a property worth £200,000 outright with cash. In 2 years' time, the value appreciated by 10%. So it's worth £220,000. So now you've made a profit of £20,000 if you decide to sell, refinance, whatever it is you do. So you've got £20,000 in there, right? Now, if you use that £200,000, for example, as a deposit towards buying a lot of other properties, 75 to 25, you get 4 properties, £50,000 in each. Yes? Now, again, the capital growth has been the same, 10% over 2 years. So now you've got 20,000 on each property. Although you've put down 50k on it, doesn't mean the property value is 50k. Property value is £200,000. So it has gone up by 10%, which is to 20,000. So you've got that 20,000 equity on each property, and you've got 4 of those. So you've got 20 times 4, which is £80,000. Now, what's better, the £80,000 or the 20,000 you could have made if you bought outright with cash? There's a big difference there. Now, it's not just the capital growth, there was the ROI we discussed about earlier as well. So there is quite a big jump, but it also depends on where you are in your life now. Are you looking to keep it investing and expanding your portfolio, or are you just going to relax, lie down, and retire on the beach, maybe in Maldives? Really depends what you want out of life. If you are in that investing mode, grow your portfolio, I'd always advise using the mortgage. Now, if you're going to be using a mortgage, you need to be very certain that you have got the right location. You will have good tenants renting properties off you. You don't want to have void periods because you don't want to pay the mortgage payments out of your pocket. So, right location, you'll have good tenants in the property. You want to do stress test. So, we know the interest rates are going up today. We still invest, but we try to get variables now because, of course, with the fixed interest rates, they're giving us really high interest rates. A good example, recently, just a week ago, we found a commercial property. To get fixed interest only mortgage on that, they quoted us 9%. That's ludicrous. However, on the variable side, they gave us 6.99%. So what we did was we did a variable testing. We did the stress testing on the property. We did the stress test as the interest rates touches as it is 1.75. How are we doing on the property? If it goes to 2.75, how are we doing now? 3.75, 4.75. We want to see where it is, because if it touches, let's say 4.75 as base rate, come on, the whole of England will be crying. People will not be able to remortgage their properties when their fixed period comes to an end. And hey, rents will also be jumping up, so it will be a disaster. But we've done our stress testing up to 4.75% base rate, so now knowing that our lender will probably be charging us about 9%. So does that work for us, not work for us? That's what you need to check on your investment properties. Do your stress testing, because you don't want to get into a property, base rate goes up and you're on variable, you're screwed. And final thing is, consider what your tolerance towards risk is, because your health is your wealth. All this money is of no good if you're going to be bedridden into a hospital, and that's where you're going to be spending your time. Health is your wealth. You don't want to take risks which you cannot tolerate, and then you're going to have so much stress, a heart attack, and all that kind of stuff. You don't want that. Property investing should be fun. And you've got the capital appreciation and all the other things. You meet people on a day-to-day basis, you negotiate, you work together, they earn, you earn, and there's blessings in the deal. If you're earning, the other one's not earning, it's not an ethical business, because you're screwing someone over. So find out where your risk tolerance is, understand yourself. It's a bit more about self-awareness, because you do not want to get sick when shit hits the fan. So let me know more about what you think. Do you use mortgages? Do you buy outright with cash? And what sort of stress test do you do for yourself when you're looking to buy a property in current circumstances? So I hope you enjoyed the content. Any questions you have, please put them in the comment section below. I'll review them, get back to you as soon as I can. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.